What's up, everybody? This is SJG. You're watching HBCU Game Day and trying something different. Maybe we'll make this into a thing, but being a full-time content creator, it is not always easy to get those steps in, where anybody who works from home could tell you that. And so trying to get my exercise in, keep everything up, while also getting some work done. And so I got maybe a new format here. So our guy MEAC Mike, who, if you're on Twitter and you're in any HBCU space, you've seen a MEAC Mike tweet. So shout out to him, first and foremost. So he posed a supposition, and that is that Division I HBCUs, particularly in the MEAC, should stop playing CIAA teams and basically strong arm them into joining the MEAC, or they are not going to give them a game. So here's my problem with that. Personally, I think that's a horrible idea. Now, of course, y'all know WSSU is my alma mater. We're in Division II. And so I think it's a horrible idea just in general. Not only we'll get to specifics, but just look at the data. The data shows you Virginia State and Norfolk State. The other day they played and there were 23,000 fans there. And it's still early in the Michael Vick era. There is a lot of excitement. They had 19,000 fans for a Thursday night game, so I get that. But historically, your game against Virginia State is going to be your highest attended game outside of homecoming. Even higher attendance than the Battle of the Bay of Hampton. It just is. You know why that is? Because these two schools are both state schools. They're located about an hour apart from each other, and people from Richmond go to NSU. People from the 757 go to Virginia State. It just makes sense. This is a game, like the other games we'll talk about too, that's bigger than NCAA affiliation. And so, at a time where our schools are struggling, Division I specifically, that light's getting good right there. At a time where our schools are struggling to keep up financially, and the financials matter more than ever, it just makes sense. It just makes sense for them to continue playing a rivalry game that their fans are getting excited about. We just had a whole weekend of HBCUs getting check games. I mean, Grambling, North Carolina A&T, the list goes on. It's part of the game, right? It's a part of it. But this is a chance for us to create generating games on the East Coast and still keep it in-house HBCU. And for me, that just makes sense. So why would you change that? I mean, would you rather them sub them out for, I don't know, some other NEC team that nobody's going to care about? Like, let's just be real. Let's keep it 1,000. That nobody's going to care about. So there is that. We'll also look at, my alma mater, Winston-Salem State. So North Carolina A&T, no longer in the MEAC, but they're located an hour and a half. They're located half an hour down the road. So, they're Division II, we're Division I. They're three times our size, literally. But, there's a history between the two universities, going back to when both were in the CIAA. And then even since the MEAC was started, we have been competitive with them in football. They own the series, but you check the stats the last 50 years, it's been a pretty competitive series. And this is just a game that both alumni bases enjoy. And the numbers bear that out. They've played three times in this. Wait a minute. They played in 2006, 2008, 2010, 2024. They played four times in this century, and all of them have been sellouts. Do you know how many other non-homecoming sellouts they have? They have one. And that was against North Carolina Central at the height of their rivalry when both teams were fighting to go to the Celebration Bowl. But that was only 1 year. So this game financially makes sense. Now, North Carolina A&T got the big head. They decided they did not want to pay Winston-Salem State what Winston-Salem State felt that they were worth. And so this rivalry went on ice for 15 years. But it resurfaced last year. Sellout game. WSSU almost came up with the win. We know how bad North Carolina A&T is, but A&T has twice as many scholarships. Anyway it goes, it was a success at the box office. And yeah, you know, they should play that game more often, especially now the situation that they're in. You look at North Carolina Central over in the MEAC, despite all those teams in the MEAC that are both Division I, outside of homecoming and outside of North Carolina A&T, your highest attended games have still been WSSU. They just have, you know. You play Campbell, it's a good crowd and both teams are good, but it's not the same. You play Elon, same situation, but it's still not the same as playing at Winston-Salem State University. It just isn't. You know, both fan bases are engaged. Both fan bases are, you know, interested, even if it's casual talking junk. Now, the first matchup between the two of those teams was actually a close game, and Central pulled it out. And then Central did what a good Division I team does over the last couple years and blew out a bad WSSU. But, you know, with the way things are going now between the transfer portal and NIL, those lines are a lot thinner than they used to be. So you're seeing that manifest in a lot of games. And I'll give you one more example, and that is Hampton. So again, Hampton not in the MEAC anymore, but they have recently resumed rivalries or games with Hampton. They just played, with ECSU. They just played ECSU the other day, and they almost took an L to ECSU, who was predicted to finish 9th in the CIAA. But either way that goes, this is a series where we have two schools that are located hour away from each other. You know, they've had some historical battles, and yeah, it's an HBCU game, and it still has pretty decent attendance. An even better example with Hampton is Virginia Union. This is a real old school CIAA rivalry. These are two of the founding schools of the CIAA, and they have played each other several times since 2019. And in 2024 and in 2021, the attendance for both games, and I'm pretty sure in 2019 when they played each other as well, the attendance for those games were actually better than Hampton's homecoming. So all of that shows is that these games get the fan bases excited. They also are revenue generators. And I know part of the point was, you know, cutting them checks. But this is a mutually beneficial game. These games are more beneficial than most FCS games outside of the conference. And, you know, they're close to a money game without being a money game. You know, I know people want to get caught up on NCAA divisions, but, yo, it just is what it is. The D1s just got to know that, you know, they're getting rated every year, and they got to come to play against these D2s. So, as we get ready to wrap this thing up, man, MEAC Mike, I get it. You're a Morgan State grad. Morgan State's a little bit different in the fact that they don't really have that type of rivalry in with the CIAA school. Morgan is the closest one, but when Morgan was in the CIAA, Bowie State didn't have a football program at that time, where it was just getting started, and they weren't in the CIAA. A little bit different there, but hey, y'all cultivate that game, that could be a rivalry too. So, those are my thoughts as I'm getting my walk in. Health is wealth, all of that good stuff. But you guys weigh in. Let me know what you think about the scenario that I put out there. Well, it was put out by MEAC Mike. Yeah, I mean, as far as trying to strong I'm into joining the MEAC, look, the fact is Division I is expensive. Hell, Division II is expensive, to be honest with you. But our schools that have stayed in Division II have made a decision that it's more financially solvent for them to be there. And yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. And honestly, a lot of our FCS schools have at least had conversations or been in rumors about potentially having the same situation. So all that being said, Division I is expensive. For Winston-Salem State, if we could be Division I, we would be Division I. But we don't have the facilities, we don't have the alumni base, and we don't have the current enrollment. So we're going to be Division II. We're going to be great where we are and work on that. And I would say the Division I HBCUs should do the same thing. Work at being where they are. And hey, you could always come back to the CIAA. All right, guys, I'm going to finish my walk, edit this video and get it up and see how you guys like this format. Let me know if I should continue it. Peace.